Hello there, only one Kenobi here, only one. And this is a long-awaited part 2 to a video I did way back in May 2020. I've been very passionate about this. The orange card Black Series 3 3/4 inch that replaced the vintage collection in 2012/13. But it's such a sad situation with that because all of these figures were destined to be on vintage cards, or would have been better that way. But the thing is, I'd like to pick up from where I left off, which was Meru Meru. And I found this website, which is pretty cool. It's actionfigure411.com. It's a really good one. And if you click on the image, let's have a look at Meru Meru. Some lovely high-res images there as well. See, he would have been great on a Revenge of the Sith card. And then you can see Mara Jade, Expanded Universe. We'll never get her like that now. Ever. If we do, it'll be a mad surprise. But anyway, so where are we up to? Let's start with this fella. This is the Clone Trooper Neo. That would have been epic. Most of the clones you get in Revenge of the Sith are commanders. Card back for this guy has to be that image, isn't it? I think it's I can't remember the Jedi he kills, but he's right behind her and you can see sort of like looks at his partner on speeder bikes, that's right. Nods, shoots. Very sad, the Revenge of the Sith. Before I go any further, I'll tell you one thing about the orange card line. There are 3 types of scenarios with this line. Number 1 is a character like that we need in the vintage collection, and there's tons of them. The majority are like that. The second option is characters that we now have in the vintage collection, like this gentleman, Vizam. So back then, obviously, he was just an orange card figure. And, about 2 or 3 years ago now, I did a video on Vizam saying, we want him in TVC, and we've got him. Anyway, so Vizam is an example of something we now have, which is great. And here he is, Darth Plagueis the Wise. Darth Plagueis. Now, this is a character that is, makes me want to cry. We have 7 cards of the Expanded Universe, and this should have been number 8. And Mara Jade number 9, or vice versa, but still, crying shame. I think that would have been a lot better on an Expanded Universe card. And now you'll never get him. And this is one of the more expensive figures as well, actually. If they could ever bring him out again, that would be awesome. I wonder what they could do with that. Now we have Mace Windu. Now this is a really interesting one because this figure is definitely based on Mace in the Clone Wars. Not only has he got the Jango Fett helmet there, so it's not based on the arena, the Geonosis arena, no, it's more based on an episode of the Clone Wars when he has a head-to-head with Boba Fett. He meets him again. Baby Boba. Well, not baby, but you know what I mean. 11-year-old, 10-year-old, whatever. But he has his helmet in his hands, I think. There's some kind of bomb or something planted or somewhere, I don't know. But look at him. Look at the gauntlets there. Very reminiscent of how he looks in the Clone Wars animated series of Dave Filoni. And man, again, it would have been a great card. All the others were really good. They would have, they would have put Samuel L. Jackson's face on the card back. For damn sure, that would have been epic, wouldn't it? They did for Hayden Christensen and for Ewan McGregor, so no doubts there. You'd see Sam Jackson on the card back, which would have been pretty cool in itself. Don't you agree? And then here we are with Bastila Shan. Now this is the 3rd example of a card back in this line. So you've got ones that we want, like Mace Windu there, ones that we now have, like Vizam, and now with this young lady, this is an example of a figure that is already in TVC, but was repacked in the Black Series. For whatever reason that is, I don't know. Maybe it's because of the fact that, probably even back then, Bastilla was a lot of money. That's a funny figure, this one. Her card back is stupendous in TVC, but the figure is, I don't know, nothing like her face in the card back. So anyway, it's a funny one, that one. And then on we go. Master Yoda. Yes, he got repacked as well in the later TIE Fighter Blue card of the Black Series, same line. But this is a great figure, I think. I like this one a lot, and I think it would have been great to have had him on the alternative card back for Yoda. Since they're giving us Yoda again. The other one we've had a lot, and we've even had it in retro collection. When he's fishing. This one, I think, would have been a lovely. Well, if I was running Hasbro, I would have given you, the public, yes, you. I would have given you the alternative when he's looking from right to left. So he's looking to to our right, his left. And it's a lovely picture of Yoda, that. And I would have put it on a return card maybe, or I don't know, whatever. And then this one here, what have we got? Oh, yes. New character. This is a great example of like Hasbro when they gave you something new. And it's Tarin Far, background character. I think a few years, when I was a kid, I used to think it was Leia, which says, stand by, ion control, fire. I thought that was Leia talking, but no, it's not. It's this lady. Well, they've got similar clothing, but I remember I picked this figure up at Forbidden Planet for like £6 or something, you know, this actual one, but I just think that would be a great, just again, I'm sighing because, you know, we're not going to get it, are we? It would have been a great figure to have on an Empire Strikes Back card. You know, it's just a background character. She's a nobody. You know, a bit like the Ice Cream Maker dude is, but even he would make a great figure and card back. But, you know, so Tarin Far, awesome. I think I love that emblem for the Empire Strikes Back, the chunky text, the same one they used for the Clone Wars. So, you know, the more cards, the better like that. It would be brilliant. And here we are. Oh, yeah, the Snowtrooper Commando. You see, that's a brand new concept. We've had Snowtroopers before, aka the Imperial Stormtrooper Hoth, but this guy is the actual commander, and you see him once blinking your miss it. Stand by for all troops will debark for ground assault. I think General Veers says his exact words there, but you do see the Snowtrooper, and they could have done one of those kind of like blink and you miss it screen grabs like they did for the likes of what's he called now, Bom Vimdim. You know, they made a card back out of his image. You know, he's on screen for a second in the background, but they cropped it and zoomed in. They could do a card back for the Snowtrooper Commander, I'm sure. And then, of course, Dak Ralta. Here's another one that was a repack. So he's already TVC, but they repacked him, and probably rightly so, because I know that he is or was very expensive. He might have just sort of evened out and plateaued with everybody else now. But Dak, when I first started getting the vintage collection in 2015, when everything was like dead cheap, like £20 maximum. This guy was way up there, like into £40 and stuff like that. You know, he's probably a lot more now. But anyway, and they spelt Dak differently on this card. They spell it D-A-K. In the vintage collection, he's Dak like Jack, D-A-C-K, from what I remember. Anyway, there you go. I'm loving this website. It's great just to kind of give you a close-up and while I waffle. Next up, what have we got now? We're nearly there. We've only got 5 more left. Here's Vader. I've talked about Vader before. Oh no, this is the better Vader. They have the VC. I nearly said VC then. They have the number 6 of the orange card line, which is Vader from the, you call it the conference room or whatever, from Bespin, you know, the dining table scene. But this Vader is apparently specifically based on Vader in Revenge of the Sith. However, I've always said this. You know, my regulars will know I've said this, but if you're new to the channel, I'll say it for you. This Vader, you could use him across the board, especially for Return of the Jedi. The way the light, you can't really tell in this picture, but the way the light hits the lens of this mask, it is a beautiful sculpt. Believe the hype on this figure. It is the best Vader they've ever made, and they ever will make. Except for the fact that this one has a loose head, which is really weird. If you shake it upside down, it won't come off, but if you touch it, you've had it. But they remade him. They remade him in the blue Black Series cardback one with the TIE Fighter, but the thing is that even that, I've got one of them that's got a loose head, so very dodgy. I don't know what happened there in the factory, but I tell you what, the head is pure quality, that. Unbelievable. And let's move hastily on. Here we've got 2 figures now. I'll just duck past these really quick. We now have him in the vintage collection. He came packed with Vizam. It's, of course, I've forgotten his name. What's he called? It just says Jabba's Skiff Guard there, but it is, of course, Brock Starshie. You know, he's a great character, very sort of like, reminds me of something you'd see in Doctor Who with that helmet, but anyway. And then of course Reese, which got packed in with the Jabba's Palace, but you know, he's pretty affordable still, but he's now in the vintage collection, and rightly so. What we need next is Squid Head. So that's great. So they've ticked a few boxes in this line since I first ever talked about it 4 years ago on my channel. Next is Wedge Antilles. I do have a custom of this made by Tatooine Customs Lee. Thanks for that, Lee. He sent me that. It's a brilliant cardback that he made as well, but it totally would be something that would go over with everybody who's a classic original trilogy fan. It just goes to show as well, there's so many areas where they're missing characters, and there's not many characters you can make cardbacks out of in Empire compared to, you know, Return of the Jedi, when you're stuffed out with so many different characters and aliens and stuff. Not so many, it's a bit thin on the ground, but this would have been another good opportunity, and that is a really good Wedge. That, you know, that loose is completely different from the other one that they made. And I really like that. I've got him stood in my Hoth display with his helmet off, he looks good like that. A bit like Hobby, you know, 2 fighters against that Star Destroyer. So like him just stood around on my display without his helmet on, just sort of gives you that kind of Derek Hobby vibe. And finally, this one here is just bloody repack galore with this guy. This is not the first time it got released. This is an example of the third type of scenario with this Black Series line. It is a repack of a first release on the TVC, and you, ladies and gentlemen, we're getting him again back in TVC, so he's bounced in and out. It's funny, really, but it's oh man, this is a brilliant figure. The thing that really annoys me about this figure is I don't know where the hell to put him. I do have an expanded universe shelf that I have in my head, but I've not actually done it properly yet, you know, because I'm moving things around and stuff. But and I daren't put him amongst any clones of mine because he's not a clone, is he? So I don't know who to put him with because he's just such a good trooper. I've got him stood with Malgus, but he's not really someone who would stand with Malgus, is he? He was against him. He was on the other side of the war in terms of Malgus and all that lot. Should really have him with Bastila. Or it's not really Bastila, is it? It's the other one. What's she called now? Somebody Shan, Bastila's descendant, I think. I don't know. Anyone who knows the old Republic and expanded universe, let me know. But still, it's a great figure, and you know we're getting him back again in the vintage collection, even though he was a repack. Thank you for watching that. That's the end of it. I'm going to go through more of these in the future. I'm going to have a look at the blue card, I call it, the TIE Fighter card back. Some great characters in there as well. All of them were just lost in the void. You know what I mean? Should have, could have, would have been. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. Hasbro. Should have been TVC. Anyway, thank you for watching. I have been only one Kenobi. Only one. Out.
Yeah.